Hello everyone, welcome to this Unit 2 video on the concept of nucleic acids. This will be a brief lecture since there is only a little bit of information we need to know right now at the present time regarding nucleic acids, because when we revisit them with our DNA and protein synthesis unit, we'll get much more involved with them at that point. So what is a nucleic acid? It is a complex macromolecule. Obviously everything we're talking about is a large macromolecule at this point, but its overall function is to store information in the form of a code. That's exactly what's inside the nucleus of every single one of your cells. Now, with carbs, we said the building blocks were monosaccharides. Now we're going to have a different building block or monomer unit for nucleic acids, and those are going to be what we call nucleotides right here. All right, a nucleotide is this image right here. Each nucleotide consists of 3 components. It has a phosphate group. Obviously, you have a phosphate element there surrounded by several oxygens. That is then connected in the middle by a 5-carbon sugar. That 5-carbon sugar can change depending on what type of nucleic acid it is. The most common one we think of is in regards to DNA or deoxyribonucleic acid. This sugar in DNA would be deoxyribose. In something called RNA, it would be ribose. And is a 5-carbon sugar, you would start counting here, just like we did Lewis dots at the 1 o'clock position. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And lastly, up top right here, you would have what's called a nitrogenous base or a nitrogen base. There are 4 types that you will find in DNA. This one in here happens to be called adenine. For now, I just want you to recognize this overall shape and diagram as the monomer of a nucleic acid. Now, for elements present, all right, in carbohydrates, we had your CHO in a 1 to 2 to 1 ratio. If you remember in my best rapping, not actually, ability right there. So, for nucleic acids, we're going to have carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. But now we're also going to add both nitrogen and phosphorus. And you can see that up here again in the diagram for a nucleotide. Here are some nitrogens being added, as well as a phosphate or phosphorus element. So the best way to remember, all right, just like Doc OG down here, is going to be your chompy. All right, again, really embarrassing, right? But if you say it out loud right now, you're muted. It doesn't matter. It's chompy. And you'll never, ever forget it. All right, so we had carbs with a CHO, with a 1 to 2 to 1 ratio. And now for nucleic acids, we got a little more streamlined of a rap phrase. We got your chompy. All right, jobs and functions. All right, what is overall jobs and functions? Firstly, DNA is going to contain all of your hereditary information, all of the possible information that you could pass on to your offspring or children one day. All right, that is the main job function of DNA, which is one of the 2 types of nucleic acids. The second would fall into what we call RNA or ribonucleic acid. Again, a second example of nucleic acids. And this molecule will contain the instructions on how to make a specific protein. So for example, let's say you're running out of testosterone. You need some more. Your DNA will make a copy of its instructions in the form of RNA, and then it's RNA that is used to actually build and assemble more testosterone. All right, so again, as I just mentioned, the examples will be DNA is your master copy of your genetic information. DNA is normally a double helix, if you recall what you learned in the past. And again, RNA is just going to code for a single protein during protein synthesis. And if you look over here, RNA is generally characterized by being just simply single-stranded. Even though it may take on some type of helical shape, it's single-stranded rather than having 2 strands connected together in the middle. All right, and then you have your double helix or twisted ladder that you've learned about in the past. There are some other differences besides being single-stranded that RNA has. All right, it will have all of the same nitrogen bases except for one. It will not have something called thymine. It will have something called uracil instead. That's going to come more into play in our DNA unit. Again, I said it's single-stranded, and on top of that, the sugar that makes up the nucleotide for an RNA molecule, as I mentioned earlier, will not be deoxyribose. It'll be considered ribose. So lastly, again, I told you this would be quick, our last little slide here. RNA and DNA play into what we call the central dogma. And again, that'll be the whole focus of another unit in a couple months that we have. While DNA is in every one of your cells, you never want to put your DNA at risk So when you need to access it, you're going to make a copy of a portion of your DNA in a process called transcription, where you make RNA. RNA is a copy of a specific protein that you need to make. All right, so whatever you're running low on, insulin, you name it. All right, boom, RNA is then translated. Your body will then put the specific amino acids in order that you need to make a protein, because the building blocks of proteins are amino acids. And then, as you recall, shape dictates function, so that amino acid chain will then be folded into the correct shape that it needs to perform its overall job within the body. So again, both DNA and RNA are nucleic acids made up of nucleotides, and the elements present are going to be your CHOMP. All right, any questions? Make sure that you ask me. Thank you very much.